families. Thank you for joining us again today on day 2 of Advent. We are reading this book called The Jesse Tree. Yesterday on day 1, we saw that there was an old grumpy man carving something in a church that he called a Jesse tree. And there was a little curious boy that annoyed the old man. But the little boy wants to know the stories that the old man is carving on that Jesse tree. Yesterday, the old man had carved a sun and a moon, and so today we're going to read the next chapter. It's called Paradise Garden. Look at this picture. Who do you think those people are? I think they're Adam and Eve. Yeah, let's read today's story and find out. So remember, the little boy asked the old man to tell the story, so now he's telling it. First there was the idea, complete and perfect, the beginning, the end, and everything in between. God is a craftsman, you see, and a craftsman always plans before he begins to work. Then God flexed his fingers and began. He made light, and with it warmth and beauty, because you can't see beauty in the dark. He took all the makings in his 2 hands, energy, gases, liquids, and solids, and when he had finished, there was the world, spinning in and out of sunlight with a moon to light the dark hours. He put the fish in the seas and animals on land, and in the loveliest spot of all, he planted a garden. Last of all, he made a gardener out of clay, prettier than a sloth, not as marvelous as an angel, somewhere between the two. That was Adam, the first man. To keep Adam from being lonely, God took one of Adam's ribs, and from it he made Eve, the first woman, smoother, softer, smaller. But in one special way, Adam and Eve were not like the other animals. When God breathed life into them, he passed on a little something of himself. A family likeness, you mean? I get you. My mom says I look like my grandma, said the boy. But why the sun and the moon? Why didn't you carve Adam and Eve? I told you, boy, these are symbols. They represent the time when God began his great plan. As it happens, Adam and Eve almost ruined everything. But people who come into this church will look at this sun, this moon, and remember how God created the world. And now you're creating it all over again, said the boy. The old man was so angry that his fist tightened around his chisel and he shook his head. Don't talk wickedness, boy. I don't liken myself to God. That'd be falling into the sin of pride, that would. The boy looked startled. Why? You said it yourself. There's a likeness, a family likeness. It's just that you're using wood, not clay. Go on with the story. I'm not here to tell stories, raged the old man. I'm here to work, if I'm left in peace. Is that what Adam and Eve did? Did stop God from working? You said they nearly ruined everything. What did they do? The old man felt cornered, as if a dog had pinned him against the wall of an empty church, a great empty church. He looked towards the front door for a mother or a father who might come and call the boy off. No such luck. There's everything here in the Paradise Garden you'll ever need, said God to Adam and Eve. Food, shelter, bird song, me. Eat whatever you want. Strawberries, mangoes, honey, anything. Just don't eat from that tree in the middle of the garden, the tree of knowledge. It's a test, you see, a test of their love for God. Suddenly, of course, there was nothing so interesting to Adam and Eve as that tree in the middle of the garden. Why was this one different from the rest? How? Time and again, Adam and Eve were drawn back to stare at the forbidden fruit of the tree of knowledge. Eat, said a voice to Eve. Taste, and then you'll know. Why else it's called the tree of knowledge? A beautiful creature with shimmering scales and a forked tongue crept out from among the roots. Eat, then you'll know as much as God himself. It was a test, you see, of whether they would put themselves or God first. With a delicious shudder of excitement, Eve picked a juicy piece of fruit and bit into it. Adam ate too. Bitter, no great wisdom descended on them. All they knew was that they should not have done it. They looked down, and their slender brown bodies didn't look beautiful any more. Now look what you've done, woman. Cover yourself up, snapped Adam. You too, Eve complained. God knew at once, of course. They could hide among the bushes, stitching clothing out of leaves, but God knew. Suddenly the birds in Paradise Garden sang out of key. "Why did you disobey me?" God asked sadly. "Now you'll have to go. The garden can no longer offer you a home. Don't come back until you've found my forgiveness." So Adam and Eve were driven out of the garden and began a long, hard journey that lasted all their lives and much, much longer. Their children and their children's children went looking for the way back to Paradise Garden, but none of them could find it. They all disobeyed God too. Some in much worse ways than Adam and Eve's, much worse. God had a rescue plan, of course. One day he planned to send— "So what happened to the garden?" the boy interrupted. The question took the old man by surprise. "God sent an angel at the gate with a fiery sword to keep out trespassers," he added pointedly. "But what happened to the tree of knowledge? Did God chop it down?" This was insufferable. "I don't know. Maybe. Why should he? It's lost to us, at any rate. You and I'll never see it." The boy got up and came closer to examine the knobbly roots of the carved Jesse tree. "That's why you're planting a new one." The old carpenter grunted his disgust. "Haven't you been listening to a word I said? I told you this is a Jesse tree, not the tree of knowledge." "It's teaching me plenty," said the boy. Then he was gone. That boy is pretty curious and pretty annoying to the old man. But the old man does a really good job of telling the story. Maybe he won't be so annoyed next time. We'll see. So join me tomorrow for day 3 of the Jesse tree. Bye-bye.